Well, hello everyone. This is Crystal Lynn, Cowgirl Astrologer, and I wanted to first of all say Happy Thanksgiving. Today's Thanksgiving, and I'm feeling so thankful today. So I'm in between turkey cooking, which my husband is cooking. I can't take responsibility for that. He has Jupiter in Cancer, and he's an amazing cook. So I'm very lucky. And my son's taking a nap. And I wanted to continue the discussion, part 2 of the video I did the other day on psychic ability and astrology. Are there indicators in our natal chart, in our birth chart? Your birth chart is based on the day you were born. Hopefully you have your time, AM, PM, city, and state. That allows us to really look at the chart from a very important perspective. If you do not have your time or city or state, we can still see a lot. And if you have these strong psychic abilities. Now, I talked the other day, if you haven't seen the other video, I hope you'll go and watch it, because that really, I talked a lot about the water planets or the water signs. We have Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces being our strongest indicators of psychic ability, because they are water signs and they feel through emotion. And they communicate through emotion. And so they're able to pick up, a whole nother vibration, okay? And like I said, I went into depth about each sign and how they're different. They all are a little bit different. But also, if you have a chart that does not have a lot of water in it, there are still places in each sign that I believe your intuition and your psychic ability can come through. Now, if you have, for example, I'm going to talk about the different houses with this, but let's just give an example. If you have the moon in Scorpio, and that is in your 10th house, okay, you are going to have a more powerful intuition and ability to work out those themes in your life in the 10th house, okay, versus somebody that does not have a powerful conjunction like that. So I hope that makes sense. Hopefully, as I get going, I can kind of expand on this. I got so many messages about this video. So that's what's really inspired me, because there's so much to talk about it. And I think it's something we need to talk about. One of the things that has happened that's very significant right now is Neptune has moved into Pisces. This has not happened for 165 years. And if you follow evolutionary astrology and you look back into history, back 165 years and then go back another 165 years, you will see huge spiritual revolutions, okay? Huge spiritual awakenings during Neptune's stay in Pisces. That's the homeland. So children, animals born during this Neptune and Pisces transit, which will go on until 2025. It came in, I believe, April 2012. Possibly 11, but it's just getting activated the last few years. Okay, we're really about 5 degrees into this. So what's happening though is the veil between us, Earth, and spiritual things is becoming very thin. And all of us are having these really interesting experiences, seeing symbols, seeing numbers, synchronicities, karmic relationships, connections, insights, dreams. And it's like, it's hard for people to talk about, because for so long, it's something you didn't really talk about unless you were really different. But now in your every single day to life, we're experiencing these phenomenons, and I'm here to talk about them because I'm experiencing them too. And we also have the fact that Saturn's been in Scorpio the last 2.5 years, which hasn't happened for 29.5 years. So this has brought out, especially for the Scorpios, a huge awakening in your intuition and psychic ability. So, and obviously that has put a lot of power to the other water signs, because there's a beautiful water trine that's been going on off and on for the last couple of years. So we have so many amazing things going on right now, you guys. And, you know, it used to be that, you know, if you said the word psychic, you know, I almost don't even like to use that word, but I'm going to use that word because I don't think that it has to be something we're afraid of. It's just the ability to see through something. And we need to embrace our intuition in this day and age, because it's our inner intuition that we're going to have creative insights, business insights, raising children insights. We're going to be getting those messages, and they'll be different than anything we've ever known, because we also have the fact that Pluto has been in Capricorn. So Capricorn is all about structures. Pluto is volcanic. So our normal structures of idealism for, you know, for religion, for, you know, what we think about things in our society is totally breaking down. You know, I'm just gonna bring up another subject, and this one I want to expand on maybe in part 3, because I love this subject, but children. I had some messages about, you know, bringing this topic up, because the children that are born, even during the Neptune and Aquarius energy generation, they're very high vibrational children. Now the children born, my son is born during the Neptune and Pisces generation. And, you know, if kids were staring off into space or not paying attention, they were considered ADD and given Ritalin, so their minds could go 100 miles an hour and they couldn't stare off into space, dulling down their psychic abilities. And that was, you know, that was 2 generations ago. I mean, when my son, who's 25 now, was young, you know, he had all the ADD symptoms. But, you know, when I look now and understand astrology, he's like a triple Aries with Mars and Gemini. I mean, how would you sit in a classroom for 8 hours a day with that kind of energy going through your veins? But we didn't understand that. So the teachers, of course, you know, they're not fitting into this little box. So let's get everybody to fit in this box, give them vacation. And, you know, then we went through the whole homeschooling stages, because our kids didn't fit in the box. So the last, you know, few years back, I was in that period of time where it's like, all right, you got to bring them home and teach them, let them express themselves. But we still weren't sure, you know, how to do that. Well, now, this is what we're going to learn to do, how to allow our children to embrace these intuitive abilities. And they're going to be the ones that heal the earth and bring the spirit that we need to allow us all to be authentic. So that's a lot more to explore, and we can continue to do that. But I had told you guys that I would go through all 12 signs and just talk about certain specific themes that trigger, I believe, your intuition and that ability. So again, if you have no powerful water signs in your personal planets, you still will have, you know, this area to be aware of. And I'm sharing this with you guys so that you can kind of embrace that and understand your gift there, okay? Now, I did already do Aries and Taurus in the last video, but what I'm basically doing is, if you are an Aries rising or sun or moon in Aries, these may be themes that play out for you, or Taurus, Gemini. I'm going to go all the way down. So I'm going to start with Gemini, so you guys can go back and watch Aries, Taurus on the other one. Gemini has their 2nd house in Cancer, okay? That's their money. Now, one thing about Geminis I think is really amazing is you see them often as teachers. You see them as really good teachers. They love working with children. So you've got your 2nd house of daily money, making money, your values, and you have that now in Cancer, which can represent children or taking care of. And that's when their mothering and nurturing intuition comes out, when they are doing that kind of caretaking. So if you are a Gemini and you get around children and you get around that teaching atmosphere, your intuition will be triggered. Okay, so, and again, that's a place for you to make money. You know, when you use your intuition and you speak from your heart on those passionate places, that's when you're in love with what you do. And that's when it comes forth as such powerful energies. So that's why I'm looking at where are the water signs placed based on each sign. Now, if you're a Gemini and you have Cancer in the third house, you know, then you're going to want to look at that. What is third house stuff? Because sometimes the houses do not line up in exact order based on degrees. So you might double up in one area. Some of you may have the second and third house in Cancer as a Gemini rising. If that's the case, now you've got children plus community. You know, it opens up, it expands even more for you. So just look at those things. Degrees can matter for potency and all that, but we don't have to get crazy about everything. Just feel this, ask yourself, you know, is this true for you? And how can you enhance that? And how can you, you know, grow in that? So again, we've got with the Gemini, I'm still talking about Gemini, 6th house in Scorpio. Okay, 6th house, your daily work. Interesting, your daily money, your daily work. Now, as 6th house in Scorpio, you know, Geminis, they're good business people, okay? And they know how to, you know, look for the fine print. And that's that Scorpio energy. That's also allows you to, you know, be so intelligent and learn. You know, Geminis have the newspaper open every single day and they're getting information in their daily routine. That's 6th house. And they're learning and they're reading and they're using their intuition. Use that psychic ability in your daily routine. Listen, you have it. 10th house Pisces. And this is your career. This is your reputation out into the world. This is how people see you. And you know what? How beautiful is that? Because Pisces also loves children. Pisces also has a healing ability. Many Geminis have a gift of counseling. You know, they have a strong intuition in the workforce, and you need to use that. You can be healers. There's so many avenues, but just feel that as you express yourself and it comes out in your career, people are going to see you very creative. Pisces represents creative, a spiritual connection. Maybe you have a real heart for what you do. There's a spiritual reason why you do it. All of those things, you know, these are just, again, a few things to look at. So let's look now at Cancer, okay? 1st house Cancer. So now when we have a water sign in your 1st house, now we know, and that's why I say the water signs have the strongest psychic abilities because it comes out in the 1st house. So when I think of the 1st house or the houses in general, picture that, you know, you're at your home, you've got bedrooms, the kitchen, the living room. They all represent a different theme in the house. And when you go to the front door, someone's knocking on the front door and you open that door, what is the first thing that they see? That's your 1st house. That's your ascendant. Now, sometimes people open the door just to crack and they don't let anybody see the bedrooms back in here and they're private. That might be, you know, a little more of a Scorpio rising. Now, when we get a Cancer in the 1st house, because it's so powerful, the first thing people see is this amazing nurturing ability about you. You know, you might be the Italian mama, or you might be, you know, the father that's, you know, got all the kids around him, and, you know, you've just got a strong caretaking, nurturing ability right out the gate. That's your most powerful asset. And that's what people see about you. So in everything that you do, as you open the door to let people in, you won't be able to hide that. See, and sometimes that's hard. And that's why I say the water signs, it can be hard on. Because sometimes when you have intuition, you can still put on your, you know, your happy face, but deep inside you're having, you know, intuition about something. But when you have a water sign in the 1st house and your ascendant, you know, or sun, moon, you really can't hide. And, you know, you have to really be comfortable with it, comfortable in your own skin with it. So that's what I'm hoping to do today. Okay, Cancer, 5th house Scorpio. So in your romance, in your children, you kind of run the house. You can run the house very strictly. The children, you know, everything's on a schedule. You know, you're a very protective parent, protective partner. And it comes through in your romance and in the fifth house entertainment stuff, even in going out. You know, you want that family, you want to know they're all right there. So that's where that Scorpio energy comes out, and that's where that intuition and that passion comes out. Okay. Ninth house Pisces. So this is a place that you can learn spirituality. This might be in the church. This might be through education, that you draw to you creative ideas. You want to learn about things. You know, again, the water signs are very creative in expressing themselves. Art, all of those things can be done through the intuition, but learning. So look at your ninth house and see if it has a Piscean feel to it. And, you know, Cancers are intelligent. They can learn. So, but, you know, you kind of like that spiritual stuff. Okay, Leo. Let's get into Leo here for a minute. Fourth house Scorpio. Leo rising, sun, moon is a hard place to have the fourth house in Scorpio, because that's your home. That's where you were raised. That's your family. That's the home you have now. And so many of us know that on the outside of the fire sign Leo, they live the perfect life. They look like they live the perfect life. Every picture is perfect. Every scenario is perfect. They have the perfect vacation, the perfect dinners. They show that on the outside through their first house, through Leo. But down deep into their families and personal things, they could have went through a lot of very intense situations. Very emotional, very dramatic, very troubling. They may also hold all the secrets to the fourth house. They might bring out all the secrets of the fourth house. It's something that a lot of times you won't see, but Leos many times have had a very intense and, you know, plutonic family life growing up. Extreme things. But see, for the people who don't think that the Leo has the ability to be empathetic, you're wrong, because they understand those things. And it's in the fourth house issues that you'll be able to help inspire others. That's where your psychic ability comes out. But in every situation, we're all still learning how to use all of this energy. So sometimes it takes us years to figure out how to use it in a really healthy way. Eighth house Pisces, you know, marriage, intimate relationships, you know, the file cabinets, all of those issues is in Pisces. So a lot of times Leos will deal with very deceptive situations throughout their life. You know, Pisces, although I love to make it sound so great, we know that, you know, it does have a dark side, and you can get very confused. It can deal with addictions. Eighth house can be those private places. So sometimes that happens. But this is also a place that you can be the most intimate, that you can write the most beautiful stories of your life in the eighth house. In those things, you have an ability to see into the future. So learning to use that. And again, you guys, I'm just briefly discussing each one. If you want more details on how this plays out, and of course you can book a reading, I would love to help you individually map out where you have these powerful places. But I'm giving you just a little taste and letting you guys see if this connects. 12th house Cancer, Leo. 12th house, those isolated places. Sometimes a Leo can have very intense, in-depth, confusing, crazy relationships with mother that nobody knows about. 12th house Cancer, you know, or, you know, taking care of or very close to, but it's very, very, very private and isolated issues. So that's also a place that your nurturing ability can come out through your intuition, through your psychic ability, where you can bring healing to those private places. Okay, so there you go on that. Virgo, third house Scorpio. I said earlier in the last video, Virgos have the ability. That's why we're good communicators. I'm a Virgo, and we love to communicate out into the world, and we have the ability to really tap in to third house themes. which is sisters, relationships, cousins. Sometimes we have very, again, private issues. On the surface, fourth house is home. From beginning, third house is more friends, sisters, people in your local community. Scorpio brings intensity. Virgos can have problems in their everyday life of people, but at the same time, that's where they can bring healing. So that's a really, really powerful place too. Seventh house Pisces, Virgo, you will be bringing in those relationships that you will be helping and you will be a part of. It can bring in people who are very psychic and you bring grounding to them. Okay, you understand this really incredible intuitive ability when it comes to your seventh house. Okay, 11th house Cancer, your circle of friends, the higher ups, dreams, your wishes. You know, Cancer's kind of, Virgos take on a mother role in their relationships, you know, very like a den mother, you know, and it's in your circles that you can feel the most nurturing. And again, those are intuition. That is everyday psychic ability, everyday intuition, you guys. I'm not talking about anything. So, hi guys. I guess my boy's up for a nap.
Yeah, that's you, Mama. Your mother's mine.
All right, you boys gonna play? Mama.
I'm going to play right now.
Okay, Mama will be there in just a minute. All right, guys. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do because I want to give it the credit it deserves. You know, I'm gonna do. If you want, if you would like me to continue, let me know. I'll stop on Virgo for right now because it is Thanksgiving and I should stop working. But I will continue this discussion with Libra, Scorpio, Sag, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces in the next video. So please leave a comment below. It really helps my astrological studies to see, you know, your thoughts and if we're making this connection, if you're experiencing all of this too. All right, you guys, have an awesome Thanksgiving and thank you for all your support. Talk soon.